like live Twitter, this podcast. It's horrible. Hi, Matt. Lovely to see you. How much pussy are you getting?
Hey, that doesn't happen on ITV, does it?
I'd rather suck off my dad.
This is going to upset me.
What TV show have you been on? Oh, you didn't. Let me defend myself.
So how's it feel being on a show that you're not actually presenting?
Lovely. Really nice. This is my preference.
What, so you don't have to like stay, because you might think that you've got the day off, but you're the most experienced presenter out of the three of us. So.
Yeah, that is very true. So I might have to jump in and save this. Yeah. No, look, if I'm not presenting it, it's probably going to do well. So, do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm doing it's basically the kiss of death having me host your show. If you want one series only, I'm your fucking guy. It's bad. I am,
I was hoping you'd be our Sherpa up the mountain of showbiz. It turns out you're going to push us off the top.
Mate. Fucking, I'm pulling the ladder up behind me. You can all fuck off. You're new and exciting and whatever else. You can piss off, right? There's enough white dudes doing this. You can get out. Until I've not got a mortgage anymore, you can fucking back up. All right, I'm not interested in you. Oh, don't they do a nice podcast? No, I don't need any more of them.
Thanks for coming on, man. Really
no
appreciate
worries.
it.
I come on these podcasts to demoralise the generation below me.
As soon as we leave, we're like, will you remember to retweet? You're like, yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, I'll retweet going, I'm going to say as many racist things as possible just to bury you both. I don't need the competition.
2 seconds. Pause here.
Oh, what's up?
Fine.
So anyway, racist
I've never stood up. I also just want to say I've never stood up in the middle of an interview and adjusted a camera. I don't want to shit on you both, but there's normally cameramen when I'm doing this shit. So
what's the production quality of this like?
I mean, to be fair, it's quite good. Is it? Yeah. But I've made lower budget TV shows. This is slick, mate. Post COVID, one of my regular things I do the soapbox races on Dave, right? The Red Bull stuff, and they got in touch.
Sick, really?
Yeah, I go and do that. It's quality. But they got back in touch after COVID, and they're like, "No, the budgets have gone down. We're going to pay you less." And I was like, "That's just not acceptable." And they're like, "You're going to accept it?" I'm like, "Yes." Like that was already low budget, and they've gone, the budget's even lower. Are you fucking off? Absolutely not, mate. I'm here until I'm paying to do it. I need the exposure. How long have you been gigging?
Probably, it's hard with the pandemic and stuff. It's hard to put like a figure on it. But
so take away the pandemic.
I had like a little I dabbled in comedy a few years.
So
back.
many caveats.
I know.
Just say 3 years.
I know, but I don't know whether I'd say 3 or 4. You know what I mean? Somewhere
it's a podcast, not an audiobook. Come on,
pick a number. We'll go with that.
3 years.
Yeah.
Years, see, at that point, you are like, I just love the art of gigging. Whereas now I'm like, how much and how quickly can I be gone? You really, very quickly, like, is there any way I can open?
Yeah, I'm sticking around to watch all the other actors.
Yeah, see, I remember years ago when I first started, I was like, I want to get from opening to closing. And a comic, I forget who it was. They went, you spend your whole career wanting to headline, and then as soon as you get it, you're like, when can I open? I just want to go home as early as possible. It's the same as comparing. I used to compare shitloads, and you after a few years of being like, this is great, you get to see all this comedy and stuff, you go, I'm here all night and I'm on the least money. This is annoying.
When does the misery stop? Because obviously, you want to get
in life.
The aim is, isn't it, that you start off open, you want to get on the circuit, you're on the circuit, that you want to be like a headliner, you're a headliner, then you want to tour your own show. The
parameters for success constantly change.
Yeah, but so do the parameters for misery. Yeah. So I do so. So the problem with comics is you always find something else that you don't like about it. So tour shows, I could do but I don't tour in big venues. I do like art centres and stuff, like 150s, which is fucking great when it sells.
Better rooms,
but then like they're good rooms, they're nice rooms. But then there's other things you stress about because like sometimes they don't sell that well, and that's something else. So you're like, I'd fucking love to be doing club gigs because that's not my problem. Because how much you're earning is about. So there's something else to worry about. I know people that are like filling 2,000 seaters, and they're like, and like on Facebook they're like, not a very good show tonight. And I'm like, you can go fuck yourself. You made 35 grand. Fuck off. But they do.
And you paid your opener 75 quid, you rat.
Yeah, exactly. We all know what's going on here. But what I find is, I did a gig years ago with a guy called Paul Tonkinson. I don't know if you know Paul Tonkinson.
I know the name.
Yeah. He's a circuit actor, right? Very good circuit actor. But he's Michael McIntyre's best mate. And he was like, and
What an honour.
Yeah, like him and McIntyre are like Bezzy mates, right? So another act that was on knew Michael, and he was like, oh, how's Michael? And he was like, oh, same as always, stressing about everything. And I'm like, he's worth 60 million quid. What's he got to stress about? But apparently, like, you just find more things to worry about.
Yeah, it's mad. So
as it goes up, you go, oh, I want the next thing because then I'll stop worrying.
But no,
I just want to win the Euro Millions now. That's my career highlight.
That should go.
But then you'll be stressing about the cost of maintenance for a yacht.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's it. So, yeah, your fucking yacht man will cancel. I don't know if there's a yacht man, but he'll cancel last minute.
Yacht man.
Yeah, yacht man. My yacht guy.
Maybe you need to not aim to be the person who has the yacht. Maybe aim to be the yacht man. That's got to be a lucrative business, isn't it?
Working in yachts.
Yeah.
Letting down
selling
rich people. Yeah, that's not going to come with any stresses, that is it? When they fucking hire a hit on you because you cancelled on their yacht maintenance.
They need you more than you need them. It's
very good point.
It's like fucking quick fit. We've spoken
about
this.
You can't be the only guy that a billionaire is like, mate, like without you, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Like being the yacht.
You can't Google a yacht guy.
No.
That's a power you can't put a price on.
But also, I imagine there's not many of them and they're busy. So like the yacht guys are like, sorry, Elon, I've just got a lot on, mate.
Yeah.
How are you going to make this worth my while? That's what you need to be. You need to be like a niche. You got to have a niche thing that you do that no one else can do, that billionaires need.
Yeah. White guys with podcasts.
White guys, look, fucking
no one else can do this.
No, I think, look, it's an important place for white guys to be.
Yeah.
The internet. It's also the most dangerous place for them to be.
Yeah, look, podcast to the Reddit incel forum is a small step, isn't it?
It's one leap, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just one slide backwards, really.
Being in a relationship is the only thing that keeps me off them forums, I reckon. If she left me, that'd be the only place I'd have to go.
No, the thing is, you'd never be an incel. You're a charming guy. Like, you're nice looking. Like, you'd never be an incel.
Not good looking.
Nice looking.
He's actually Matt's got a lazy eye. He's looking at me when he's he's not talking to you.
I mean, you'd be good on those forums because you look like Pepe the Frog.
I don't know who that is, and that's ruined my day.
You know who Pepe the Frog is.
I'll never unsee it.
This is going to upset me.
He has the general attitude of Pepe the Frog as well.
That's the face.
You know what? I'll take it. You know, he's a famous guy.
He's a Look, I don't know if there's much lookalike work in the QAnon world for Pepe. QAnon? So I've been listening to a QAnon podcast, like about like finding Q in my car today. That's why I'm thinking about Pepe the Frog.
I'm going to be totally honest. This is getting cut out. I'm just letting you know.
No, that's fair. Mate, that's the beauty of being in control of your own podcast.
Oh,
hello.
Hello.
Even he's staying control. Come in. Who is it?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
All right, no worries.
Wait, that doesn't happen on ITV, does it?
No, it doesn't. That's weird. I just want to say,
put your hands to your chest.
What, I mean, so I suppose like we're in a business part, right? We're like in some sort of business centre where someone's hired a podcast studio and not soundproofed it. Yeah. Brilliant. How much are you paying?
Foam on the wall.
How much are you paying for an hour for this? Yeah, they didn't soundproof the walls. What they've done instead is put up wallpaper that looks like bricks.
Yeah.
So they're probably interviewing for like a really important job next door. I mean, there's an interview. There's actually an interview happening in here. So, you know.
Yeah, that's what I thought when she said that. I was like, hang on, I think this person's more important than your fucking.
Have they done celebrity coach trip? Shut up, stop laughing. Look, I'm going to stop smashing this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really. I mean, this is going out online. Your interview can be, you know.
Look,
you've got to hire the next person.
We've got to respect what's going on next door. I feel bad now. We've got to like mellow. We were having a lovely time. She's sort of, you know, ruined it.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Feels very.
Is this the first time a podcast has been ruined by someone that wasn't on it?
Yeah.
Should I go confront her?
Yeah, go and smash her head in.
Excuse me, do you know who we've got in there?
Do you know, look, we are next door to the Have a Word podcast.
So, yeah, we get our comedy through osmosis. That's what we do.
Yeah. Are they getting complaints about the laughter? I don't think so. All right. So we're obviously smashing it now. No, but they've got money. So, you know, it's different, innit? Yeah. Better. Playing the... They're not going to get that at the Echo Arena, are they, when they do it?
No, I can't imagine. She'll be there as well.
I just love podcasts.
But she's got something serious to do today, so we need to respect her.
People, but I think most jobs aren't serious, though, are they? Like people who work in sort of like offices and things, they don't do anything. Like all my friends have got office jobs. Like their big existential crisis is they're like, my job is meaningless. Like it exists for the sake of a job existing.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to bring joy in those people's lives, and she's gotten in the way. That's a real shame.
I've felt like as I've gotten older, like I feel like I've every single job, and any job, even like doctor, politician is a prime example. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. They're just trying their best to blag it.
I would argue that isn't the way to look at a doctor.
I mean, I can't look. I've been sat there at a doctor's telling them I've got a lump on my testicles, and she sat there like that, Googling it.
I've had that as well.
Not wanting to see them. I don't blame her. I didn't want to show her them.
No. But also, I mean, a GP. Look, I don't want to upset GPs. I had a GP in an audience the other day, and I asked her if, like, she got really upset. She got genuinely offended because I went, have you ever had that thing on a plane where someone's gone, is there a doctor on here? And she's like, yeah, it's happened to me a few times. And I was like, you're a GP, right? She went, yeah. And I went, what do you do? Refer them. You're having a heart. It's like
it's a great joke.
It's a lovely joke, right? Off the top of my head, I was very happy with myself. But then I was like, because that's all you're basically. All you are is directory inquiries for the NHS.
The operator.
That's all all a GP is. All a GP is I know a guy. That's it.
Imagine being a GP receptionist on a plane. It's like, has anyone got a doctor? Well, can you call 8?
Just ignore you.
Not 801.
Or just ignore
call it 8.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's none of your business, actually. But I do like I always find going to the GP. I'm like, I'm just going to go because they know a guy.
Yeah. You go in with the hope that they'll send you on to someone else and not just send you off. Do you know what? Actually, I'm quite upset. I'm just trying to process the fact that I just told you both that I had a lump on my testicles, and neither of you have asked how I am.
Well, because you're here.
Or how it was.
How was it with the lump on your testicle?
It was sound.
What was the lump?
Do you know what?
The other testicle.
Do you know what? Actually, concerningly, they just didn't really tell me. They were just like, yeah, it's not cancer.
Without looking at it, they said.
No, they didn't know it. So I did get referred, like you said.
Okay, fine.
I got the old ultrasound, and then they literally just said, that's fine, that. But they never explained what it was.
No one knew. It was probably a magic star.
I haven't eaten magic stars in a long time. I know what I'm getting on the
drive home. You lose them down your pants.
Are you big into magic stars?
No, I'm just big into food. so it was a fat joke.
Oh, I thought it was just like there was previous with them.
No.
If you go for
it was an in joke, no, he's just a fat cunt.
But a magic star, that's a very specific chocolate to go for, as a first point of call. I'd have gone for a Malteser. But there we go.
Next time you do that joke, you can say a Malteser. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Right, sorry, mate.
He's just trying not to admit that he's the only fucking person in the 20s who eats magic stars.
What's wrong with magic stars? They're solid, them.
Magic stars are all right, to be fair.
They're sick, but it's a kid's chocolate. Like when you said magic star, my brain went, with nostalgia from what it was like being a kid eating them. Can't remember the last time I had them.
I've had them within the last year.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, because they're quite often when you go to a petrol station, they're at the nearer end,
really?
and you go,
the impulse buy.
Yeah, they are a lovely little impulse buy.
I've not been tempted.
You don't go to petrol stations like services though. Like you always have your noodles on the road with you, don't you? So you don't pull over for food.
You look, that's sensible. Saves money. Like I like your style.
It's like I'm trying to be healthier, so I'll prep. I'll make a meal and I'll eat it on the way there. I will stop at the services, have a piss, eat the meal. Then on the way back, I've got the adrenaline rush, fucking big dick energy. I'm like, I'm amazing at stand-up me. I need, let's celebrate, and I'll get open tent as well. So I just end up getting 2 meals.
It isn't like driving to gigs. I hate because I end up eating late at night and then feeling shit the next day.
It's never.
You can never get anything nice either.
Yeah,
the Leon's never open, is it?
Oh, like I only had my first Leon at a service station like in the last couple of weeks, and it was boss.
Leons are amazing, but they always shut at 7.
I was with my missus and she's vegan, so we got some like vegan mac and cheese bites just to try it, and we were like, this is boss. So on the whole way home we were like, we'll stop at that exact same services, we'll get a Leon, and it was fucking closed. I was fuming.
All the good things at services close early.
Why did they exist then?
I don't know. You can only ever get an Urban Eats sandwiches and an M&S, or not an M&S, a W.H. Smith's even. Oh.
Yeah, I got my first meal deal at W.H. Smith actually on the way back.
Paid £9.80 for it.
Mate,
well.
I felt like I was being robbed.
Yeah, mate, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Also, like I've dreamt of being a comedian, right? It was my dream job, all this kind of shit. And then the reality of it is it's just being overcharged at services for food. Like there's nothing. And after a few years, like you don't get a high after a gig anymore. You just go, well, that should have gone well. I've been going long enough that's the bare minimum.
You expected it to be like that.
Well, everyone does. You know, when you're doing it, you go, it should go well. I've been doing this for so long, 13 years. Like it should be going well. So then it's just eating shit food in service stations.
Yeah, to feel something.
Yeah, like it's awful.
You started so young as well. I bet you thought it was fucking great. Like eating McDonald's every day when you were 17.
Yeah, because you could hack it.
And then when you're 24, you're like, I feel like I'm gonna die.
Is that how old you are? 24.
25, I am.
Oh, I wish. How old are you now?
30.
I'm 31, so I'm the oldest one.
I mean, you look great for 30.
Thanks very much.
Like,
really
I'm actually half-gutted that you said that.
Yeah, you're very childlike.
Thanks. Is that why you like me so much?
Yeah. All right.
So how old were you when you started?
18.
18.
18 years old.
It's like so young to start stand-up.
Yeah, I was doing like jonglers and stuff at 19.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, mate, ridiculous.
That's fucking mental.
No, it's not good. It wasn't fun.
I'm just trying to process how you had like. How did you approach sort of material and stuff like life experience?
Before we go any further, we should probably let everyone know what jonglers was.
Yeah. Jonglers is
where
they were
comedy
really
goes to die.
Yeah, they were really rough.
Yeah,
sort of. All the clubs were like it was stag do's and hen do's in big groups, pretty much in every club, and they were rowdy and they were shit and they were hard work. Some of them were. There was a few that were all right, but they were mostly terrible. But they were well paid.
Was it the way they were run? Was
no, it was
the
just
audience encouraged to?
No, but it was just like. The reality of any big group is one person's organised the comedy and the rest of them don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So it's that. And I was comparing those and like having like fight battles basically with audiences very early. But material, I basically approached it as like, this is what it's like to be your kids. Right. So this is what your kids think of you, and like this is what it's like to live with people your age. So it's sort of going from the other side, so they sort of could still relate to it.
Yeah, being relatable.
Rather than going, I've got all these opinions about politics, which no one wants to hear from a 19-year-old. No one wants to hear from it's hard to talk about politics in your 20s because audiences go, no thanks.
Yeah.
Not
they have very different views to you, so you must be right.
What happened is you'll realise this when you hit 30, you do start to sympathise with Tories, and that's when you can.
Thanks so much for watching, guys.
You know this. You're just pretending you don't.
No.
You're a Scouser. No one can be a Tory. But yeah, I guess. But my dad always promised me, he's like, you'll end up right wing. It hasn't happened yet. Every so often, you're like, well, yeah, they are scroungers, aren't they? I'm joking. I don't think that.
I'm going to cut that bit out where you said you don't think it.
Yeah, what do you want to do, mate?
That and Pepe the Frog, gone.
I mean, look, you can cut out what you like because that is classic Pepe behaviour. He's a troll. So you just proving my point.
Were you like driving at the time? Were you driving yourself to gigs?
Yeah, drive everywhere. My little Peugeot 106, 1.1 litre.
I saw that outside. It's nice.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Things are going well.
I'm glad I kept it.
Yeah.
I was sort of drove around. It was great fun, like doing, and also it was cheaper to get around then. Yeah. So like open spots and things weren't as damaging as they were these days, or even like doing, back then doing a gig for 40 quid was feasible because petrol was 70p a litre, so it was fine. Yeah. Whereas now I think it's harder to start out.
Yeah, even the paid gigs are still unpaid.
Like right now.
Yeah, man. Like, and I had a job and stuff, so I used to just like work part time and then go and gig. It was great. Dropped out of uni and did it, and when I could just about do it full time, and then did that. Yeah. It was great.
What was the eye opener for you then when you were in uni, where you were like, look, this is actually feasible?
I never liked uni. I really struggled with it. I never wanted to go. I did publishing. I never finished it. Publishing media at Oxford Brookes, and I went because I felt like I had to go. I didn't want to go, but I felt like I had to, and then. I started doing stand-up and started going, well, I did like a few of the competitions, like I was in the like So You Think You're Funny final and all those kind of things, and Chortle. And I stopped going to uni as much, so I was gigging like 5 nights a week. And my tutor went, she was like, where have you been? And I was like, oh, I'm doing comedy and it's going well. And she went, go and do that.
Yeah.
She's like,
Took one look at your last paper, was like, fuck off.
Go and do comedy, mate.
But she said, need though.
Yeah, but she said, she was like, you can always come back. She's like, I did a year and a half. She's like, we can hold on to this indefinitely and you can come back and pick it up. Yeah. I was like, yeah, all right then.
What uni was this?
Oxford Brookes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it sounds like Salford.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing they'd say.
Come back when you want.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Yeah, we'll still be here. So, I just went and did it. So it was all right. And then I didn't tell my dad I dropped out for 6 months.
No.
I lived at home.
Keep up the charades?
Well, and I lived at home when I went to uni as well. But I only went to uni like, you know what it's like, 8 hours a week or whatever it is of lectures and shit. So the days he knew I was going, I used to wake up, go and have a coffee around the corner at a coffee shop when he went to work, and then come back home.
Just blend that.
Yeah. And she was like, "How was uni today?" I'm like, whoa.
His dad found out because he was in the audience at a Junglers gig on a
Yeah,
stag.
he was. Hang on. With
I'm
all his
your
lads.
kids. And his dad's like, no, you really
Yeah,
are.
I'm
Like,
a kid,
why
come
aren't you at uni?
It's So and then I just quit and then sort of just started doing it full time. Yeah. When I was 20, I sort of quit my job and then just was doing it as my job.
So lucky to know at that. Like, I wish I knew then.
What did you do
I
then
did
before
go to
this?
uni.
Yeah.
And I got me the degree, and I just the whole time did not want to be. It was just a waste of money. I just did it because I thought it was what I was supposed to do.
Exactly. There's no. I think actually, if there'd have been something that I think is negative. Just trying to,
Very on brand.
trying to bring it back around.
Keep reading that teleprompter just there.
If someone had gone, there's these really, you can, because like there's this big thing now that you can go and work for like these amazing companies if you just got your A levels, because they don't need you to have a degree really. I'd have gone and done that and just gone straight into work. That's what I really would have liked to have done. Yeah. And then I've come into comedy where it's just stressful, innit? It's just a pain in the arse.
Yeah, I mean, you've said that though. You're at that point, aren't you, where you're just miserable about it?
Oh no! Look, I mean,
I still love gigs in Landud now to 40 people in a sweatbox.
But so do I. And like the thing is, I moan about it, and then my girlfriend goes, she's like, "But you love it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." But like, I sort of do, and I love moaning about it. So like, I book in. Like, she's like, "If you don't like it so much," she's like, "Don't gig in the middle of the week and stuff." And I'm like, "No, I want to go and do stuff." I have to keep busy, and then I go and I'm like, what's the fucking
And
point?
also,
22, innit? If you didn't do it, you'd be fuming at yourself. You'd be guilty.
If I quit comedy, I'd be livid.
Yeah. And it's also easy to say that whilst not working on a scaffold. I put a TV stand together for my mum yesterday, and honestly, I hope the TV stand outlives her, because I'm not doing another one. Like, I'm not. Do you know what I mean? And it took me like 5 hours, and I was like, people do this every day.
Yeah,
but I'm building sites.
Build TV stands,
for like £8.
I worked at one point
thinking about
when I was like,
labour.
There was one year when I just started gigging full time, but I needed like money for car insurance, and I went and worked in a warehouse for like 5 weeks to pay for my car insurance. And I remember working in this warehouse where packing books into like going around picking books, putting them in boxes, sending them off to like whatever bookshops and shit. And there were people that had been there. I was like, "How long have you been there?" And they're like, 32 years.
Mate, honestly, I did the exact same thing in lockdown. I worked in McVitie's, and there was people there that they started at 17 and they're going to die there.
Yeah, but the thing is, they were happy. Like, they were happy with it, which is fucking respect to them. Because like obviously we've all got a problem with us that we need to do something out, like do something like comedy to feel happy.
Attention seeking.
Yeah, all that, you know, like need the love, you know, whatever it is. But it drove me up the wall because I was like, oh, this isn't, you know, it's, you know. Whereas comedy, I was like, I don't want to do a repetitive job, and now I do a repetitive.
You have the same conversation with yourself 20 minutes every night.
Yeah, exactly. And some of the jokes I've been doing for 9 years. You know? There's a couple of what I like to call the classics in there. And
you remember teletext?
They're not like they're timeless. Don't you know? There's stuff that but like there is a comedian on the circuit. It's not fair to name, but he's got a joke.
Do it.
He's got a.
Do it.
I'm not naming him. It's not fair.
Do it.
He's got a joke about a film, and what he does is he updates the format he's watched the film on rather than the joke. So it's a film from the early 90s when he wrote the joke, and now it's just like he goes, "Oh, has anyone seen this film on Netflix? Like, have you seen it's come back?"
It's called Tremors.
Indecent Proposal is the film, but it's just very funny that he's like, give a shit, man. Like, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, like you do end up. It's a very repetitive job, but I suppose it is different every night. But I'd go to loads of gigs, and I'm like, well, that was pointless. Yeah. Like I did a gig last week in this members club in London to 12 people, and we all died. It was absolutely dreadful, and I left, and I was like, what a waste of a fucking evening. But you get paid, and then you get paid, and you're like, well, it was worth it, I suppose, for that. But
whose idea is it in the club? That's what I.
And I asked the sound guy, I was like, what's this like? And he went, always horrific. And I was like, why did they do it? They're like, because they put it on. They're happy to pay for it to say it's on for their members, but none of the members come anymore because it's shit. It's never good.
But who were you on with though?
Oh, me, Mark Dolan,
right,
and Rudy Liquid.
Right,
Two people you don't know.
No, I don't know them. But honestly, 9 times out of 10, if you're on a bill that's fire, it's the audience that's the fucking problem. Do you know what I mean? Because how do you?
I never blame them.
How is it? No, I know what you're saying. You should never.
But it wasn't.
But when you're watching a bill and it's fucking Andy Askins, Tom Stade, and Adam Rowe or Nightingale or something, and they're just dying on their ass, it's like.
God, it's interesting what we think a good bill is to other people. Joking, they're all very good. Just thought it'd be a funny thing to say.
He's next door, he can hear you.
Yeah,
He's going to
yeah,
knock on and be like, we're doing an interview.
We're interviewing, we've actually got Sean Walsh in.
Yeah.
You know, but I think, you just, it is like, I don't ever blame the audience, but like there was 12 people in a massive, like it wasn't their fault, but everything, the setup was horrific.
Yeah.
And it was like that, you go in and you're like, there's no way to make this fun.
They don't even have a mic. Like, how do we?
Like that, it was almost that bad. But, and actually they were dicks. They were all, they were in a members club in London. Like they were absolute arseholes. And not the one I go to, thank God. But
you go for the slightly far right leaning ones.
Yeah. Like they're not members clubs. They're more sort of like secret meetings.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, my name's Matt. I'm a neo-Nazi. Those kind of things. And yeah, sometimes it can be, but it is great. I love it. I love my job.
This is such a hacky question. What's the absolute and what's the absolute worst gig you've ever had?
Oh, I mean, I can't pick one. I've got so many favourites.
It's in 4 hours. That's a Feel Good Stockport. Check it out. £5 a ticket. I'm on Matt Sod. It's great. It's really good. It was actually 4 days ago.
I've done loads. You know, I've done so many bad ones. Oh, God, I can't even, 13 years of bad gigs. Come on, man. I've done some real shockers. I've done a couple of, I'd say the one that really sticks out is when I went on tour the first time. The first time I died on tour. Because that's an hour and 20.
How do you die in front of people that have paid to see you?
It happens more than you'd think on my tours anyway. I assume it happens to everyone else.
No, I've never.
But also, I'm at a level where people are going because there's something on at the venue and they might recognise your name above someone else's name that week. I've got a faction of people that come and see me, but not enough to fill a room. So I did. It was in Nottingham, and it sold out really. It sold out weeks in advance, and I was like, "This is going to be amazing." And I died for 2 seconds. I died for 45 minutes. Had a break and went out and died again. It was absolutely. and it got to a point where in the second section, I was like, I just said to them all, I went, "Why are you here?"
Pleading with them.
I was like, "What do you want? This is the show. This is me."
Do you get a lot of people that have obviously seen you on, The Extra Factor or Love Island or something like that, and they've come because they just recognise you, but they've never seen you stand up?
Yeah, less so.
Because I imagine that happens to Paul Sinner a lot, and then he's going on talking about pussy. We just want you to hear what you thought about the Roman times.
You've never seen Paul Sinner live, have you? He does not talk about that married gay man.
That's what I was thinking.
He's not.
Maybe he's talking about how much he hates it. I don't know.
Just get Paul Sinner mixed up with Dave Chappelle or something.
Do you mean Paul Chowdhury? Because Paul Chowdhury talks about pussy a lot.
But no, if you
the first thing Paul Chowdhury ever asked me, he's like, "What you been up to this week?" And I was like, "I've been on a date." And he went, "How much pussy you get?" That's the first thing he ever said to me. That's the first question Paul Chowdhury ever asked me. How much pussy you get?
Good impression.
Thanks very much. Low and quite angry. Yeah. Man, you getting much pussy?
Yeah. Now do an impression of his family.
They're from North London, mate. I can do that easy. Don't worry about it. But yeah, Paul Sinner talking about. Hi, Matt. Lovely to see you. How much pussy are you getting? I don't think you want to know, Paul. But yeah, it's it used to happen
Back
a bit
to the question.
because I'm quite rude on stage. It doesn't not so much now. I think I've been around for long enough now that people, and also on those shows, it's slightly different. You're hosting something because you've got to be family friendly. But when I go on things now, I'm quite rude and abrasive, so people sort of know what I'm about.
They know
I think.
what they're getting,
yeah, it's not too bad now. But the first tour, there was a lot of that of people bringing kids along. In Falmouth on tour, a woman brought her 11-year-old and her 9-year-old, and I got someone to go out and be like, "Look, the show's not appropriate for them.
Yeah.
You can have your money back, whatever it takes." She was like, "No, it's fine. They know everything." And 12 or 15 minutes in, I was like, how's it going with the kids? And she went, "I should have taken the offer."
Is it too late?
Yeah.
The offer she was referring to was anal. Took that.
Yeah, I did. I did offer the kids anal. Yeah. That's when she realised it wasn't the show for them. But so that happened a little bit at the start, but not so much now.
Yeah.
I've done enough other stuff that people go, "Oh right, okay, we've vaguely got an idea of what." But even then, people come up to me at comedy clubs at the moment, and they're like, "I thought you were Rob on Dancing on Ice," and then I'm up there fucking wanking off air dick.
We saw you on Dancing on Ice
For a week. It was easy.
Yeah.
Didn't have to watch for long, did you? Great.
Yeah.
You get paid the same however long you last. It doesn't matter.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd go on and be intentionally bad. You'd sell far
Yeah, that's
more
what I
tour
did.
tickets. Yeah.
How is it? If you only went on to cover someone, didn't you?
Yeah, so someone got COVID. So
Yeah.
I was the cover. So they had to pay me double and only had to skate one extra day.
That's boss.
Brilliant.
So were you like kind of held on the sidelines in a way?
You're there, so you do all the training.
That's what I was
Yeah.
asking
So
last
basically,
year.
when they've asked me to do it for years, and then this year I was like, the last one when I did it, I was like, yeah, I've not worked for a year. I absolutely will do it. And they went, can you be the stand-in? I was like, so I get to be paid and I don't have to go on the show. That works for me. And also, it was at a point where it was that November lockdown, so there was nothing else to do, and I was out every day ice skating. It was lovely. It was really nice. And they went, you got to go on
Sounds
telly.
like Christmas market.
Yeah,
It's just having a
it was
good time.
gorgeous. Oh, I'm brilliant at ice skate. Like, I'm not good at dancing on ice, but fundamentally that was proven. But I can ice skate really well now.
Was this prior to that?
No. I learned. I was
terrible.
terrible I can't wait. Christmas now. Last Christmas, I mean, I was that dickhead going
around
backwards.
with the penguin and that.
Yeah. But going to an outdoor ice rink at the Natural History Museum, and I was the guy who took his own skates. I was that dick. You know that guy that brings his own skates to the ring. I'm that guy now. Okay, it's so satisfying.
Oh my
Last
god!
time I went ice skating was a couple years ago, and I like when I was a kid, I did a lot of like rollerblading.
Oh, yeah.
So I just was like, I'll be sick at this. Not anticipating, the changes in weight and athletic ability. Not that I ever had much, but
Yeah, and also I think as you get older, like when I was a kid, I used to go ice skating. You don't care about dying.
exactly.
Whereas ice skating it's really dangerous. Actually, it turns out going around with knives on your feet. So I'd not ice skated for years, and then I went,
I've only just realised that's what it is.
Dance like I remember the year I did it. Like there was one of the professionals. She ended up having an operation because she had a massive chunk taken out of her leg. Like it's a really dangerous sport.
My God.
But I was like, when they were like, "Can you do it?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck." I used to go when I was like 14. I used to bomb around. Great.
Yeah.
And then the first I got on the ice, I was like, "Oh, but I'm going to die one day." That's the first thing that comes to you. You're like, "Fucking hell."
It's those first
And you're
steps
terrible
on.
at it. I was awful when I started, but you do it for 6 months every day, you get all right.
Yeah.
And then they went, "Oh, you got to go on telly," and I went, "Oh, that's a pain." I didn't really want to. I was sort of hoping I'd gotten away with not embarrassing myself, and I was sort of hoping they'd use me again the year afterwards because that was sort of the chat.
Yeah, then you get
they were
more
like,
money,
and
yeah.
I'd get paid twice, and I'd have been good, so I'd have done all right on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it doesn't really sell any tour tickets being on Dancing on Ice for a week.
No.
Unfortunately.
You were going back to before what you were saying about how you sometimes you find misery with everything. Do you like doing TV stuff? Or?
Yeah, I really like it. Like the thing is, it's nice because the pay's much better than stand up, and the money's good, and also it's working with loads of people. So that's not something you do in comedy. You don't.
No.
There's no team collaborations. So when it goes well, it's this really nice team thing. And when it goes badly, you're like, oh well, we all tried to make it good and it didn't work. But when you do stand up and it goes badly, it's just you. So I like that about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
also
will
with,
say the money. Okay.
Well, good. I find that refreshing. It's annoying when people don't.
I do. You look.
Or like skate around it.
I've been on loads of terrible stuff.
You're not doing Top Gear's extra gear for anything but the money, are you?
Well, the thing is, I don't mind cars and stuff, but it's one of those where you go, oh, they want to pay me 1,500 quid to go and talk about cars for an hour. Yeah, fine, great. But like, there's loads of things I've done. Like, I did a show in 2014 called Viral Tap, which is one of the worst things ever sort of recorded.
Just viral videos. Is
Viral
it?
videos, yeah, it was awful, dreadful, absolutely dreadful, and one of the like I said, one of the worst things committed to celluloid, and awful, and it was a horrible experience to make.
Was it just you? Anyone else on it?
No, it was me, Carly Smallman, the comedian. We had a guest every week, and then Caroline Flack hosted it, and it was abysmal, and it was a horrible experience. But like, it was at a point where like the money was like, I needed the money. I worked on Big Brother's bit on the side for years, doing stand up twice a week about what'd been going on in the house. I did it for 3 series, and I hated every moment of it.
Is that not tricky? Sometimes they just sit around and do fuck all.
Yeah, but also what's even trickier is when they do stuff, you send in your jokes for the day, you write 5 minutes, and then they come back and you've got a minute and you've got to rewrite a load of stuff. Like,
did they have you doing 5 minutes of joke? Because I remember watching like Russell Kane on I'm a Celeb and
that's
stuff like that.
basically what they were going for, that thing.
That was only for a minute or two.
Yeah, but it was a bit longer. We did about 2 or 3 minutes in the end because I was just like, they were turning to, like, legal and stuff were turning too much away. Yeah. And I hated every waking moment of that job. But at the time, nothing else was going on in my career. Like I wasn't on any other telly. Like it was a bit like when you're not like massive, like a Ramesh or something, you go through periods where like you're on loads of stuff all of a sudden and then you're not on anything for a while and it's sort of up and down like that.
I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah,
So do you go through that excitement of, oh shit, yeah,
you kind of have a boost and then you plateau and then you might go down a little bit. Yeah. But even like I've had points where like my profile's been on the down and then you do something else and it goes up again. Like it's very up and down. It's not just like a linear upwards trajectory for everyone. So you're just like, fuck. And I remember saying to my agent at the time, I don't really want to do this. And she literally said, she went, you've not really got a choice. She went, this is all that's happening for you. Like there's no one else is interested. So go and do it and try and do a good job and maybe you'll get some other work. And I did it for a while and I fucking hated it. The audience that watched Big Brother hated me. No one enjoyed.
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, like they called me on the Big Brother forums. They were calling me the Oxbridge cunt, and I regret looking. But they
t-shirts made.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, you've got to say things like that with your chest, haven't you? You've got to handle it well. I'm coming in a Pepe the Frog top next week. Like you've got the abuse. You've got to wear it, haven't you?
But like it was just this sort of unanimous thing. Like the producers quite liked me, and we were all kind of matey. So they're like, "I'll keep doing it if you want to do it." And as soon as I got something else, I was like, oh, "Thank God for that. I don't have to do that anymore." But that happens. You just got like it's a job. Like I'm not at a level where I can pick and choose everything. I do a lot of stuff that I'm like, I'll do my best, but it's not the dream.
Yeah.
I didn't sit when I was younger being like, I want to be a comedian so I can host the British Council of Shopping Centre Awards. But I've fucking done it. And I did a good fucking job as well.
As far as British Council of Shopping Awards go, you nailed it.
I mean, it wasn't the main ones. I did the awards for the commercialisation of non-retail space, but you know.
But how does that even fucking happen?
Mate, it was a big do. And you know, like all those kind of things, I just think I want to be good at my job, but I do things where I go, in an ideal world, I wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
But you do it. Like, not everyone gets to be that big comedian that kind of picks and chooses their gigs. You've just got to go, yeah, that's been offered to me. Seems pretty good. I'll do it.
When it boils down to it, is it still all about the stand-up though?
Yeah, I love stand-up. But I do, like, even if I'm doing something like, I do really enjoy a lot of other aspects of it that so I've done, I love doing Dancing on Ice. Coach Strip had its moments of enjoyment. And, but I've done loads of things where I've gone, oh yeah, I need to do that. And then found something fun about it. Yeah. It's like, all of this is fun. Like it's not a real job and it's a laugh. And, it's not for everyone necessarily, but yeah, I love stand-up. But I've had periods where I've not done stand-up for a while and stuff as well, which has been nice because stand-up is life-consuming, especially when you're young. Like, how old were you when you started?
He pointed at me at first and then adjusted it.
But even like, you've got a missus, right?
Yeah.
And everything, like, and all of a sudden...
Still a full-time job and that as well.
Yeah, but if you can go, if you can do something within the industry, like when I did I was on the radio for a few years doing Drive, and I didn't really gig, and I had a life again, and it was fucking amazing. Like when I was like, 26, 27, finishing at 7 p.m. in Soho 5 days a week was brilliant. Like, I had a great time. I don't have any of the money left from that job, but it's nice to have that break. So if other things give you that opportunity, I'm like, yeah, if you don't want to be gigging 5 nights a week, it's fine. Like, you don't feel like you're cheating on stand-up, as comedians have said to me before.
Yeah.
Fine.
Well, then what pulls you back? Do you start getting the itch of like, I've got to get this tour ready? Or do you start feeling yourself slack at it?
I love the clubs. I love, like, more so than touring. I find touring quite stressful because the ticket sales and all that. Whereas getting to like sort of the pinnacle of doing like the Glees and those sort of clubs, there's going to be an audience and they're booking you because you're good, you're going to smash the gigs, and it's great fun. And it's not hard work. And I think that's what I love. And also, I go through periods of like, I love doing stand-up, but like, I've not done much telly recently. So like, it's nice to do stand-up because like, I've got expensive taste now. Yeah. So, I only turn left on planes. So I've got to do some fucking gigs. Ultimately, I've also still got a COVID tax bill I'm paying off. Would I go to Stockport for 150 quid? Not normally, unless I had a double him. But I'm fucking here, aren't I?
This is Runcorn.
Yeah, I know we're in Runcorn. Yeah. I had a terrible tour date here, actually. Gary Barlow's mum was in the audience, and I saw her afterwards, and I was like, oh, what did you think about the gig? And she went, you've a style all your own. And I was like, that's not a good thing, is it? That's never good. Yeah. But
style all your own. What a sentence.
Bad. Yeah. That means bad. Because I was working this when I was an Extra Factor, and I was working with Gary, and he was like, oh, my mum, she goes to all the comedians I'm friends with gigs. And I was like who? And she's like, oh, Peter Kay, John Bishop. I'm like, yeah. She wasn't expected to be in an audience of 45 at the Brindley in Runcorn.
Oh my God.
She was expecting the MEN Arena.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I probably wasn't for her if she goes and sees them. But yeah, I love stand up. It's like and at the moment, especially since lockdown, I've enjoyed it more than I've enjoyed it for years. Like, I think it's great. And audiences seem to be well up for it again.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
Well, if they're there, fucking ticket sales have been impossible to shift at the minute with
Really?
everything. Yeah, I've just seen it a lot with other promoters saying the same sort of thing because the cost of living's gone up, and then there's bank holidays after bank holidays at the minute. And
Yeah, the bank holidays are a nightmare.
Yeah, like-
and
It's weird, isn't it? You wouldn't think, like, you'd think people be out more, but it's like fatigue, really, isn't it?
oh yeah,
Comedy's
they've
not
had like
something- 3
3 bank holidays recently. Like, they're absolutely fucked in their skint. But also, I think comedy is all right if the cost of living is I mean, it's really bad, but in recessions it's normally all right because
You need a cheer
people
up.
need a
a
laugh.
fiver is a cheap night out, right?
Yeah,
To
for
get a
sure.
ticket for something for a fiver, and there's loads of comedy nights that are a fiver. Like, at your comedy night, £5 a ticket, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like that, you can't go wrong for a fiver
Yeah.
to get a night's entertainment. So
And
I
then
think-
sometimes they're there and it's like you're trying to get a reaction out of them and it's like pulling teeth and you're like, what did you want for £5?
Yeah.
You had your money's worth when I walked on. My God. It's a fiver for 5 fucking comedians.
fucking great. Like that.
One of them's been on Fear Factor.
Never done Fear Factor. That was, but
No,
extra
fake
factor.
reaction. Fake reaction.
That's
Joe
Joe
Rogan.
Rogan. Yeah, Joe Rogan. Yeah, Joe Rogan. See,
I mean, it's your stature.
there's
You
hope
do look
for me
alike.
yet.
I had someone at a gig in Alexander's in Chester like a couple months back. Someone come up to me afterwards and say, like, thanks for the laugh, I really needed that, and I've never processed it like that before. Do you know that, like, some audience members proper
Yeah.
The problem is you get to a point in comedy where it's not for the, like, I don't go out going, I'm doing this because I want them to feel good. I want them to laugh to make me feel good.
It's
because
always
it's the
like
job.
that, innit?
But yeah, it is always like that. The comedians, that's how we think. It's not for them. It's I'm very much doing this for myself.
It's a selfish pursuit, definitely.
But I had a woman who came up and she went, it was a really good gig at the boat show in London. And I was comparing and it was a great night. Everyone had a great gig. And this woman came up and she went, I've had the shittest week. And this was just what I needed. And like you, I go, oh yeah, this is a really great thing to come to, actually. But you forget about that because you're just like,
It's not just about me.
They put me in the middle and that's actually £25 less. But you boil it down, you're like,
And also-
they've had a babysitter come in, like they needed this. And it's quite nice when you think about it like that. Like you say, you process it, you go, oh yeah, that is a really nice thing to think
Just
we
takes
do.
you out of your own bullshit for a second.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
man. And I think going, oh, well, I'm not getting booked for that and that. And you're like, well, the people are here and they want a nice time.
Yeah, and they've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And also, like, we're looking at it from the perspective of someone that watches comedy 5 times a week. Like, if you had a
true,
night
yeah,
off,
yeah.
the last thing you would do would be go to the comedy store.
Yeah.
To
100%.
sit and watch with
Definitely
your
not there. They
girlfriend.
don't book me. But, it's my one club.
Just any of them, though. You wouldn't just...
No, of
the
course
last
not.
thing you could think of doing would be going and sitting and watching your mates
I'd rather
do
suck
stand-up.
off my dad. Like, it's just an absolute nightmare.
I'd rather watch that.
He's a good-looking man, Jeff Richardson. I think you would. But it's one of those weird things in it where I think I have friends that come sometimes. Like, I had a mate who came who'd never been to comedy before. He's like 50, right? This guy I know, he's 50, and I was doing a gig in Blackpool, and he lives there. And I was like, "Oh, come along!" And he was like, "This is the best thing I've ever been to, a comedy club." I was like, "This one." Really?
They've not changed the fucking toilet hand dryer since 1934. Like, what
But also, I was like, there was a stag doing of 25 guys that we spent most of the night dealing with. And he's like, yeah, but it was just exciting. And I was like, yeah, it is brilliant, actually. So I feel bad that I'm always like, fucking stand up.
Some people love that, though, don't they? They love the battle between the comedian and the...
But also, I
audience
think
members.
people love thinking I'm watching something that isn't scripted.
Yeah.
So I used to go and watch Ross Noble loads when I was younger because I was like, oh my God, he makes it all up. Actually, he doesn't, but he makes
Cleverly.
it feel like that. And that is just like nothing else to watch, I think.
Yeah.
Giving them something you think this is special for tonight.
And also,
that's what
it's
is
whatever
amazing.
you're used to, isn't it? Like, I remember, like, we were talking about shit about it before, but the first day in McVitie's, I was like, holy shit, it's a conveyor belt of cookies.
That's how
Do you know
they
what I
make
mean?
'em.
But I bet if you've been there 30 years, you're like, fucking hell. I'm just staring at the same cookies.
Honeymoon
going,
period for
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
But I've interviewed like rock stars, right? And I've been like, must be amazing, like walking out to an arena, and they're like, like everything becomes.
I actually
bullshit.
can't see them. The lights are too bright.
Everything becomes like after a while, everything becomes tedious, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Like like you what's that? If you see someone good looking in the street, like the best looking person you've ever seen, someone somewhere is sick of their bullshit.
Yeah.
like
Yeah, and every
so
good-looking
true.
person is someone that's tired of having sex with them. Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of-
Like, no matter what, there's someone who's like, oh, fucking Dave. Like he's an Adonis, but there's someone out there who's like David Gandy, oh, rubbish, can't bear being around him. Or, you know, like, and that's the same with stand-up. Like, the sheen comes off because we just do it too much.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, people go and watch Kevin Hart and they can't believe Kevin Hart's in front of them, but his wife is so tired of listening to him make jokes.
Kevin Hart's tour manager is like, this show is bullshit.
Yeah,
I've heard it 900 times.
You said about interviewing rock stars and stuff. Have you ever interviewed anyone who's like, your heads fell off because you've been proper starstruck?
Yeah, Blink 182.
Oh mate, I was a massive Blink fan.
I'm big into that, like Blink, like Green Day and all that.
Yeah,
and I've interviewed loads of those bands. The worst one though.
The mics won't pick that up, so see. We just look ridiculous now.
Is this a fire drill?
I hope not.
Yeah,
that'd be really inconvenient.
Is there a fire? Yeah, it's happening in this room, boys.
As soon as he mentioned Blink 182, just
that's why that woman came in. She could smell smoke. But we're just, this is fucking great. But basically, I interviewed them, but then I got really disappointed. I had the guy, the lead singer of Sum 41, come on my radio show, and he was fresh out of rehab. So
because he got fucked up.
Yeah, he nearly died, right? He nearly died, and he was a nice dude, but he was like kind of quiet and stuff. But they had to keep his mum came with him to the UK because, like, basically to keep him on the straight and narrow. Yeah. And I loved his band, right, when I was younger. And then he came in and his mum was there, and she was taking loads of photos of the interview. She's like, Derek, can you get in with Matt? And like, and he's going, Mum, can you just leave it for a second? And I was like, mate, I used to think you were cool. Brought his
she's
mum
there, like, on his face.
No joke. She's like, stand in front of the logo, and he's like, no. Like, not for his socials.
No wonder Avril Lavigne left him.
For memories. I was like, come on, Mum. I was like, that's what my mum's like. That's why I don't take her.
If it was for promotion, you'd accept it.
Yeah,
but for memories,
if it was like a tour manager going, we need to get one of these for the Twitter or whatever. But she was going, come on. And she wouldn't leave him alone. I was like, oh, it's sort of taken, that's ruined that. That's ruined. That's ruined being a rock star, isn't it?
Do you get to a point though, like, because I mean, I've not gigged with anyone massive, if you like. Like, I've met a couple of people.
But that gig, once again, that was a gig to 20 people, wasn't it? We did together in Leicestershire.
Yeah, it was a really nice gig. Actually.
It was lovely. They were really
nice,
lovely.
Yeah.
But I still got there and went, I'm in a fucking gazebo in the back garden of a pub in Leicestershire.
Yeah.
What is going on? Like,
yeah, and you had to walk through the pub to get there. But yeah, I've not gigged with anyone like, you know, truly massive. But like, you know, I met you and stuff, and that was obviously I recognised you from telly, and that was like, oh fucking hell, so that's pretty cool. Went home and told my girlfriend, she knew who you were.
Very nice.
In fact, I say she knew who you were. She said, "Is that the guy that fell on Dancer and Ice?" And I was like, "That's the one."
Twice. Yeah. On one appearance.
I saw the, like, because I did find that kind of funny. No offense. That you did like the routine and nailed it, in my opinion. You know, and then
that's very kind. Thank you. I'm waiting for the insult.
And then you came back to do just like a little tiny little snippet, and that's when you hit the deck.
You know what though? It's really funny. Rebecca Vardy. This is what a weird world, right? So Rebecca Vardy and I were chatting before the final, and she was like, the best thing you could do as a comedian is stack it. And I was like, I'm not. She was like, you should do it on purpose. I was like, no, definitely not happening. And then I skated over my partner's dress and fell, and she went, took my advice then. I was like, no, it was genuinely an accident. She's like, yeah. And she was like, that's all anyone will... Because it was funny. As a comic, you can get away with being a dick. Like, if I was like a serious actor, that'd be a disaster.
Oh, imagine Tom Hardy falling. I mean, first of all, why is he on Dancer and Ice?
You laugh, though. Chris Hemsworth's done Strictly in Australia.
Fuck off, really? Yeah.
Yeah, when he was on Neighbours.
Pre-Thor.
Yeah, pre-Thor.
Oh
There's still hope for me yet. Gonna just call Marvel. But
your best hope is like an animated Incredibles, like, just voicing one of the characters, voicing Frozone or something.
Mate, don't laugh. I'm doing an audition tomorrow to be an animated Saint Bernard on a YouTube show. But you know, basically, yeah, like
it did smash the recovery.
It was one of those, like, people laughed at it, and you're like, as a comedian, that's sort of all right. Isn't it? You can fuck up as a comic. It's not a problem.
Smash the recovery. Reminded me of, like, have you ever seen that old fucking...
Sorry to interrupt. Do we want to do anything about... I can't imagine we can stop that. But if the mics are picking that up, it's ruining the whole show, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Like, no one's listening.
Is it worth taking a break?
Yeah. Because I just... What's up, guys? Thanks so much for downloading the podcast. Listen, if you're watching on YouTube, please do us a favour, drop the video a like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. It really does help more than you think.
And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, or anywhere that you get your podcasts, please give us a 5-star rating. If you think we're worth less than that, just don't rate it. Don't be a nib end. Don't be a Karen. Do one.
And if you wouldn't mind, give us a follow on social media as well. It's at Spread Negativity Pod on absolutely everything, except for Twitter, where it's at S Negativity Pod, because Twitter is a gobshite, and we didn't realise that has a character limit until we decide on the name. So fuck you, Twitter. Let's get back to the episode.
I just feel like the magic's gone.
Yeah, it does. It's annoying, isn't it?
We were in a right little good flow there, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
We really bonded, and then that fucking guy, he didn't even die.
Yeah, so if you're wondering what the fuck happened, that alarm that went off that we reacted to before, bit of a weird one. Someone nearly died in an explosion.
Genuinely true.
Yeah.
It sounds like an excuse, doesn't it?
But if you're going to be at the show tonight in Stockport, it won't be the first bomb of the day.
Fucking hell. Sitting outside for an hour made you nasty.
It's because he's cold. I'm fuming. I'm fuming. I know, you can't say it about anyone else because they're not here.
Yeah, no, very good point.
It's cunty if you say it behind the back.
Yeah, no, it's a very good point.
Oh, fucking hell.
What
anyway,
are we talking about?
So there was
Wait. What TV show have you been on?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was on ITV's The Chase.
Really? How did you do? I've also done The Chase.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted before when he mentioned the TV show.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be annoyed that you've brought it up again because he doesn't come across well.
Would you not come across well on The Chase?
I get loads of shit about it because I took the lower offer.
Oh, you didn't. I'm on a podcast with a low offer chaser.
Let me defend myself, all right?
I took a 64 grand and I fucking got it, you dickhead.
Did you? Yeah. Oh, fucking
low
hell.
offer.
Yeah. You're fucking Oxford educated. Oxford Brooks.
Yeah,
whoa. Did you take? No, wait, hang on. Sorry, I've misunderstood. Did you take the low offer or a minus offer?
It wasn't minus. It was
Thank
the
God
low
for
offer.
that.
That's where I justify
No, look,
myself.
a low offer isn't the end of the world.
Yeah.
A minus offer, you should absolutely die in a fire.
I agree. I got 4.
That's why guy got caught in the explosion. He's been on the chase.
Yeah.
I got 4 in the cash bill there, 4 grand in the cash bill.
Okay.
There, so not much. Do you know what I mean?
It's just, I think you need to go on,
Yeah. So
$9
I got
grand cash builder.
I got 4. Yeah. Fuck off. So I got 4 in the cash bill there. There was 2 people already back, so I just did that, and I was offered $1 grand on the lower. So I thought, if I get back, there's 3 of us. It's $1 grand less each, but we've got more chance if there's more.
Yeah, I think the logic of it is I when I did it with who was I on with? Mary from Corrie and Jimmy Osmond.
Wasn't even a celebrity one, just man.
Yeah, we all needed the cash. What coincidence? Madness. I went first and took the high and got it, and then everyone afterwards went, "Oh, I'm going to do the same," and they shouldn't have done. So Jimmy Osmond, Ray's Mormon, fucking idiot, doesn't know anything. Kirsty Walk hosts Newsnight, very intelligent, but still. So it was only me and Mary from Corrie.
Just 2 people back.
Just 2 people, and the thing with there were certain questions were like we were one. If we'd had one extra answer, we'd have got the cash for the charity. And some of the questions we didn't know, but you're like, Kirsty would have definitely known that because it was about politics or something. And you're like, they should have taken either the lower or the lowest offer. And we'd have all got money for a charity. But instead, my autistic charity for kids, fucking nothing.
I'm judging you now.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that money.
Although you did charity work, I'm judging you now because I'm
still
like,
got fucking paid.
Because you shouted at me. You shouted at me for picking the lower offer.
Did you win?
But no, did I fuck? Nearly did. Nearly, we did get close, but I needed that money, so that's why I took the lower offer. I wanted to increase my chances of winning.
That's fair enough.
You weren't getting it at the end, so you were like, "Yeah, I'll take the big offer."
Yeah, why
you
not?
Were just showing off on telly.
But I mean, I took the big offer because I got a $9 grand cash builder. It was clear that I should take the big offer. I was very good at it.
I was very good at it.
Liam doesn't even want to do stand-up. He's just waiting to gig with Paul Sinner again. So
was Paul Sinner your chaser?
No, he wasn't. No,
Who did you go against?
I had the Vixen, who was brand new at the time, so she hadn't even been on telly.
And you still took the low offer. You didn't even know if she was good or not.
I did because I'd watched her go twice, and she was good.
She's very good. Yeah. We run a pub quiz together monthly.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we do host a pub quiz together at the Groucho Club, which is a members club in London. Don't want to be a cunt, but
I'll aim to be there.
I had to sign an NDA not to
leak the Vixen.
Yeah, because she hadn't been released yet, but obviously I just told anyone who listened.
Well, but also I think
allegedly.
I didn't. It's just a story on a podcast.
You can't admit to something that you did.
This is true.
Say allegedly.
None of this is true. There's not even been an explosion.
There's not. What's
Matt
the chase?
just said something racist, so we had to cut something out. That's all we could think of. Like, what do you?
That isn't fair. I said that outside in confidence.
And to be fair, it was one of the good ones.
Fucking hell, mate. It was very exciting being outside for like 20 minutes when there was like 3 ambulances, 5 police cars, 2 fire. There was a helicopter.
It did feel like a scene from Corrie, didn't it? It felt like a tram had gone through a fucking Rover's Return.
It felt like Christmas at Corrie.
Yeah. There's a big story. It's been building since fucking June.
Yeah.
And then it got to like, I don't know.
Ken's gonna die.
It got to the 75-minute point and we were like, this is a bit tedious and we've got somewhere we need to be.
Yeah.
Did the helicopter even land?
Yeah, it did.
Did it? And then just fucked off.
Yeah, just went, they don't need me. Yeah. I think because they said it was an explosion, they had to bring in all the cavalry.
Yeah. I mean, they wrapped a guy in tinfoil.
They did wrap a guy in tinfoil.
And bog roll.
He's already been roasted. You don't need to do it again. Do you know what I mean?
Fuck me.
We're talking about an actual human being here, Aaron. Show some respect, please. It's just happened.
I was going to say something then.
Say it.
No, I'm not saying it. I'm not getting cancelled on this fucking podcast.
Barely started fucking Top Gear's Extra Gear. Why aren't you necking? So glad you've come on. I'm talking a big talk like I wasn't messaging you like, hi Matt, are you still free? Just trying to look powerful. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to look confident. Like,
from last week, you know how shit an episode is without a guest.
Yeah. We're near the end now. He's I can burn bridges. I got You still got a headline tonight, mate.
Yeah, but that's
you still got to keep him sweet.
Yeah, but if I go on and be like, oh yeah, Matt Richardson's a cunt and he didn't want to do the gig, everyone goes, oh, Matt Richardson's a cunt. They don't go, oh, Aaron, why did
that is the problem. Like you've got a lot of power when you run a gig and are the compare. Like I've done a gig before where an act's not shown up because they've forgotten the date, and I've just gone, they forgot they were meant to be here. That's how little they care about you.
Reputational damage.
Yeah. You know, there's 35 people in Hereford who will never look at Marlon Davis the same.
Fucking hell. If they're from Hereford, I'm surprised they looked at him with glee anyway.
But the thing is, right, I did that once where like I've done a gig and like I've been comparing, they've gone, oh, the headliner's not shown up, can you do a set as well? And you're like, yeah, fine. And then the promoter's gone, there's another 50 quid for you. And you're like, no, fuck off, I want their money as well.
Yeah, just because I'm here already.
Yeah. No, that's not fair.
Oh my God.
Ask you another question about TV though. This
is
of
from
my experience on The Chase.
85-inch on the wall.
Fucking hell. I'm cutting that out.
I'm just jealous.
What, for the teaser?
Yeah.
So when I went on, they told me to bring a bunch of different like coloured t-shirts or something for the set. You know, they had to like look right, and I did, and they instantly told me they weren't good enough. None of them were, because I just bought a bunch of coloured tops from Primark because I needed the money. They took me to their wardrobe and they picked out a polo shirt for me, and then they stuck sanitary towels on the armpits as if they took one look at me and thought,
he's going to sweat.
Yeah. Now, is this standard practice?
No. I wish I could tell you differently, but I've never had the sanitary towels.
I've been telling everyone it's a TV secret. They all have sanny pads in their armpits.
I know Joe Swash does. He always has sanny pads because he's sweaty.
Yeah.
But yeah, they obviously looked at me and gone, he's going to be a sweaty cunt, isn't he?
They saw me walk up the stairs to the wardrobe and were like...
And then they saw you they saw you in the run-through struggling to answer a question in your $4,000 cash builder.
Yeah, they only start doing it after you perform terribly, yeah.
No, but some people do it. Yeah, like it is a thing. But normally they've got previous. If it was your first appearance, they just went, it's better to be safe.
I think it was an
What colour was the shirt? That might be
like
a reason.
Lilac?
Yeah, that's why that'll show up.
Thanks.
Stop making him feel better.
No, thanks, mate. I appreciate
that.
My
like God. A pastel lilac colour.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, then that's a nightmare for sweat patches. So then it's just easier to do.
You're so annoying. I could have ribbed him for that for the next year.
I always remember, like Reg D. Hunter years ago. He's a very good comic. When I first saw him at Live at the Apollo, I couldn't tell you what he said, but I just remember he had terrible sweat patches. and it sort of ruins the show.
I wore a grey top on stage once and never again. Yes. It was when I was dead new as well. I don't really sweat now. Obviously, fucking Landud no gig the other day. That was an insanely hot room, but I don't really sweat now. But it was when you're dead new and you get the cold sweats, and you're feeling horrible. And I wore a grey top, and I did the whole gig like I was robotic, like. So anyway,
that's why I took the lower offer, just to distract from the sweat.
From your period pads under your arms.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. I don't have a clue how long the episode's been so far because we had the big fucking. I mean, we just got to spend more time in your company.
Yeah, it's lovely. I've had a lovely day.
I actually called in a bomb threat, and that's just because I wanted to hang out with you more. That's how lovely you are.
Very sweet.
So we have a few. If you're new to the podcast and you're on it, you've come to watch it because Matt's on it. First of all, welcome, and yes, he did fall as well. Does it on every show?
Yeah, I do. It's my thing. You laugh. I'm going to get a fucking one of those stair lift adverts. The man who falls. You may remember me from falling over on Dancing on Ice, but I no longer fall in my own home.
And that's due to Stannis Stairless. Buy yours now, 30% off with discount code Matt. Anyway,
what's going to be funny though is, you know that like podcasting you, there will be a point where people like Have a Word and like the big podcasts. Have a Word podcast. They're like one of the biggest podcasts in the country.
Never heard of them.
They're going to be doing, you know, at the moment it's like Now TV and all that. It's going to be like, hi, we're the Have a Word guys, and we have a bath with a door in it when they're in their 70s, because as the audience ages with them. I'm Dan Nightingale from Have a Word, and I love my bath with a door in it. It makes life so much easier. I mean, what do you think, Adam? Where am I?
He'd have one of them now, I think.
Well, he's quite, he's playing young with a cap.
Yeah. Anyway, like I say, if you're new to the podcast, you've come because Matt's on it. It's called Spread Negativity because the camera's on me, mate.
I've had a couple of co-hosts like you.
Name one.
I won't do it. I've had few enough you can work it out.
Okay, good. Oh, fucking hell. Anyway, we do a section at the end called Off Your Chest, where we invite the guests to get something off the chest. The point of the podcast is everyone wants to spread love and positivity. We're trying to find the negative in the world and we're trying to have a laugh about it. So the point is today, Matt's the guest. He's going to get something off his chest. Do you have anything?
Yeah, children.
Okay, good. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Kids. That's what I need.
Why are kids on your chest? You weirdo.
Well, you know, I'm a TV presenter. Like,
you've been on the BBC.
It's the rules. No, my problem is I'm at that age now where you're a bit too young for this. You're the same age as me, so you'll have this. I've got friends who are having, like, they've had kids over the last few years, and I'm expected to be fine with them coming to everything.
Yeah.
Like, we go to the pub now, and the kids come.
Oh.
And I'm like, how am I meant to go and do a line with you in the disabled toilet when you're changing a fucking nappy in there?
It's a good point. Yeah.
I didn't know that's what those big tables were for.
About the kids then. How am I supposed to align with the kids?
They're chatty enough, mate. They don't need any of the fucking they don't need any of that. Look at me, watch this. Oh, fuck off.
It sounds like your career.
Fuck off. Not when I'm on this. Don't worry, I won't be asking
you. Fucking knobhead as well.
If that's how you
I'm trying to match your energy. I think that's what it is.
Also, if
you've been coming for the throat since you got on.
No, I haven't. I only did it because you did it.
You said no, I haven't. That was so the inflection.
Look, this might work with Phil Ellis, but you know, I've done some good things. I'm not still banging on about one pilot I did 9 years ago.
Yeah, but she was lovely.
Leanne! Sorry, it's Phil Ellis.
Anyway, kids
are just.
It's been off the rails this
I hate it. I hate, like, my friends are having kids. I don't know if I want them ever.
Have you ever? So, sorry to interrupt. I just know my approach is that I like the idea of it in the future, and I always have. Like, I would love to be a dad in theory, but as I'm getting older and the reality
even
of
have
that,
the clothes.
What? Fuck off. I've been dressing like a dad for the last 15 years. But like,
and the jokes.
Yeah, fucking, I mean, I think he's the dad joke.
Yeah, it's been a lot of that tonight, hasn't it?
Yeah. That's like, I feel like, you know what I feel like? I'm your boyfriend you brought round to meet your dad, and he just won't leave me, like, won't stop ribbing me. Play football, do you? Who'd you play for? The Philadelphia team, you skinny twat. Like that's how I feel. I'm being attacked. It's like live.
He's never been good enough for you.
It's like live Twitter, this podcast. It's horrible. Just having to be around kids when I haven't had them, and my friends, like, we're meant to hang out together. I don't need your fucking kids around. Also, I haven't had a CRB check either.
That's worrying.
Isn't it weird? Like, you know, you could be a nonce and you just have your own.
I never thought about it.
That's really dangerous.
I'm scared now.
Yeah, you should be scared. What, you're going to fuck
kids.
your kids?
It's a lot. I mean, if you are a nonce, though, you've got to wait a while, haven't you? You have your own. Like, because I don't think you want them when they're a day old.
The problem is you're like, you need to have sex to have kids, and the people you want to have sex with can't have kids.
Yeah. And also, when they're a day old, they're not really.
Fucking hell, mate.
You've got to wait till they're 9. You've got to put up with a kid.
This took a turn, didn't it? A day old. That's dark.
I mean, you brought it up.
I did bring it up, yeah, but
I love that. This is that old saying, like, if you listen closely, they'll tell on themselves. And you're like, oh, I hate kids, by the way.
Yeah,
I hate them.
But it just does my, like, I don't want to be around him yet, and I'm around them all the time. All my friends have had kids, and I just find them. And the problem with them is none of their kids. They're like, oh, aren't they sweet? And I'm like, they're absolutely not. Like your kid is the same as every other kid
in a pram.
Yeah.
My dad used to say, "I hate kids" to me when I was a kid, and I was like, "Do you hate me, Dad?" And his answer was, "No, because you're my kid. I hate everyone else's kids." And I think
my dad was
like,
similar to that, but he didn't tell me. He just shone and walked away.
It would be funny if it wasn't so true.
Really? Oh, so, I mean, you are from Stockport, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I feel really bad for you for that. Is that why you're sort of ribbing on me because I'm older than you? You want a dad figure?
Yeah, but you're not that old, are you? How old are you?
45, mate.
Yeah.
You look good for it.
Showbiz.
Are you really 45?
No.
I was going to say.
That'd be weird, wouldn't it?
You said. I mean, to be fair, that's how long ago we started the podcast, because you said you were 31.
30. Yeah,
He's
you
aged
believed
14
it.
years. That's how long that bomb threat was. 14 years you've aged.
What's that
Funny enough, the kids you hate will be fucking adults now.
It's like, do you remember that film they made where they filmed one bit every year for 13 years? That's what this podcast feels like.
Oh, fucking hell.
But yeah, I just can't. Like, I find it really hard because they've all, and the problem is I'm the only one without a kid, so they're all happy for everyone to like, and I just feel like I've not caught up, and it makes me feel bad about myself. And you take your cat and they all moan.
I'm a cat mum as well.
Are you a cat mum?
Yeah,
I love my cat. But I you know, on a lead to the pub, and they're like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I'm like, "You've got a kid on a rein. Like, that's weirder, surely. Mine's closer to a dog than yours." Fucking hell. So that annoys me.
I think dogs are the new kids now, aren't they? Most people don't. Like, a lot of people don't want
kids. I don't like dogs either. Dogs do my head in.
Person.
Yeah, they're fucking awful. You know, I only
so
say
much
this.
about you, though.
I only say this because my cousin has just got a dog and it's evil, and I saw it 3 days ago, and it's just, and they basically haven't trained it. They've got a dog.
Yeah, that's when dogs are cunts, so aren't they? Like,
yeah, they've not trained it. It doesn't do anything. It goes for everyone. It's a horrible little thing.
Like all cats.
Well, my cat's lovely. My cat isn't interested in anybody.
I've got a dead nice cat,
my cat my cat is indifferent to everybody, and that's better than being bitter.
You feel like you've earned its affection.
I have that sort of outlook on life as well. I think me and your cat would get along.
Yeah.
Great.
My cat's just like, give a fuck, mate. I don't owe you anything. My whole cat's thing is, I'm like, why don't you come and give me a cuddle? It's like, I didn't ask to be here. You ripped me from my mother one day, and I'm still alive. So
ripped me from my mother. It's so true.
Yeah. But it's like I just like that. I find kids like just hard at the moment. You know, sorry, mate.
He's like 21.
Is he 21?
Yeah. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, mate.
He wasn't when we started the podcast. He was only 6.
I did watch an interview with him, and he was like basically going, they're like, "Oh, you know, what's hard about being famous?" And he just, it was. I felt really bad for him because he went, "People picking me up all the time." And I was like, "That's so disrespectful."
Yeah.
Hello. Ooh.
Same with animals, though, innit? Cats, like, that's why cats like go fucking apeshit. If you try and pick a cat up.
My cat.
That's the thumbnail, by the way.
My cat, when you pick it up and hold it like a child, it puts its body out straight and just doesn't move. It pretends it's not happening.
Yeah, like fucking Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's like, stay still.
The cunt won't see me.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's just like, you can see in his face, he's going, "This isn't my life." Fuck this.
Would you think you ever will have kids?
Maybe, who knows? Like, you know, I think it's an option, but at the moment, I couldn't think of anything worse. Like, I've got my life. I love going on holiday.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like pay for someone else to go who I've not made my mind up about yet.
Yeah. You can't get rid of him if they are knobheads, can you? Do you know what I mean? Like, if everyone you meet, you cut them out of your life if they're knobs.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't do that with a kid.
What you have to do,
then it's your fault.
Is you just start saying to people things like, "Oh, he's a bit of a handful," which is sorry, my child's a cunt.
Yeah, I've done a shit job.
Yeah, I've raised an idiot.
Yeah,
he's got lots of energy. Yeah, he's a fucking bellend, mate. That's what that means. I hate you. I hate your children.
Yeah, I'm at that point at the minute because I don't know if I want kids. Like, my girlfriend, she, to be fair, she doesn't know if she wants them, but she's heavily leaning to the point where she thinks she will.
Is she the same age as you?
She's 2 years younger than me.
Oh, you got ages then?
Yeah, that's it. But I'm worried I'll never want them. And that's sort of it's not an argument in the house because we've sort of had the conversation. It's just, it's life, isn't it? It's just one of those things. Maybe we will. And yeah, it's tough because I can't ever imagine a world, I mean, loads of people say this, and they say it changes as you get older, but I can't imagine a world where my life's inconvenient enough now. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so much to think about, and I've got nothing to think about. Like, imagine having a fucking little ferret involved in your life as well.
I had a mate who went, the thing is, he goes, I didn't want kids, but as soon as I held my son, I was like, that's a risky play, innit?
Yeah, I've got ginger genes in my family, like, just.
But I just mean, like, imagine that. He goes, when you're holding it and you get there and you go, oh no.
No, I did make a mistake.
Yeah, fuck, this was back.
It looks like Pepe the Frog.
Come on, mate, your dad doesn't know what you look like now. Sorry.
Don't be a shit house. Don't be a shit house.
No.
Just because you're from the south and you can't take it, don't be a shit
No
house.
apologies necessary.
I had a friend, my mate got pregnant, and she was sort of on the fence about it, and her partner was like, really wanted them, and she went like, oh, you could, like, let's try, but if it doesn't work quickly, then let's not worry. Like, and then they had a baby quite quickly, and I went over to see them, and he was like, oh, it's amazing. The first time she laughed, all this, and he went to use the loo, and she went, never do this. I was like, oh my god, and she was like, this was an error. Yeah. And she's like, what are you doing this weekend? I was like, oh, fuck knows, going out. She's like, oh my God, I don't want this.
I've made such a mistake.
Yeah. And I think there are plenty of people that do think it's a mistake. And I just think, but I'm at that age where people look like my mum she's a nightmare of going, she's desperate for grandkids. And I don't know if it's going to happen. It might do in the future, but, she's getting on. So she wants to enjoy them. And
so are you, kind of.
Yeah.
I feel that way at 30. Do you not think...
No, Jon Snow's just had a fucking baby, hasn't he? He's 74.
I thought you meant the character from Game of Thrones. No. I was like...
I really thought the character then. I was like, he's really into the series.
Jon Snow, the news presenter's had a kid at 74.
He had a kid last year. Like, he had a kid. Men, you keep knocking them out as long as you like, can't you?
That's true, actually. I didn't
What kids are...
Yeah, kids. And also, if you have a kid at 74 and it's a cunt, you die in 5 years. It's not your problem.
That's better for the kid too, because then he gets all your money.
Yeah,
if you're Jon Snow,
gets all your money, and a stepdad he hates.
See, not only do we present problems on this podcast, we solve them too.
There we go.
There you go.
If you're not sure about having kids, have them as the latest one.
Yeah. And then kill yourself. It'll look like natural causes. Have an explosion in a science centre.
It's really taken the glean off of Have a Word podcast, seeing where they record it. I was like, oh, this is a big operation. I'm like, oh no.
I thought the same when I was on the Chase, that Elstree studio.
Elstree's a shithole.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be on TV. And I was like, is this it?
Elstree's rubbish. Because I've done a few things.
You've got photos of the things they film, and it's like fucking Christopher Lee's Dracula.
Yeah, like loads of Star Wars all happened up there.
Oh, really?
Indiana Jones was at Elstree. Yeah. Loads of stuff like that, and it's shit. Yeah. It's awful. And then you go to the American studios. Years ago, I made a behind the scenes show about Family Guy, which is all on the Fox, the Fox studios when it moved to ITV, and that is like actually glamorous. Yeah, and it's amazing.
You're a slut for telling you. Is there anything you've not done?
I've done ghost hunting. I've done that. Anything, mate. I've done it all. I did a show once about millionaire dogs.
God, you hate them.
And I fucking hate dogs.
Is that why? Because you've just met the country
You've met the Tory dogs. You don't like him anymore.
I've met Elon Ruff. That's why. He was a bellend.
Oh, fucking hell. Right, we need to wrap this the fuck up.
So I was just thinking of more billionaire dog puns.
Is there anything you want to plug? First of all, thanks so much for coming on. Like, mate, we were taking the piss, but genuinely, thanks.
It's been a really good. I've had a really lovely time.
Man. We really do appreciate it.
I'm happy that there was more time for us to hang out.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that we're going to a gig together, but it was lovely to hang out with you as well. I know you're not going to be there. Nothing to plug. Come and see me in a club. That's where I'm probably best. I've got a website. I've got Instagram, Twitter, and all that. Although I imagine most of the people watching this are watching it on mine.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's sort of where we're at the minute. But this is why we're so grateful to you coming on.
My TikTok.
You got anyone you want to plug? Yeah, these guys' socials.
But honestly, do listen. They're very funny. Listen to the podcast. Come and see them both live.
Nice one.
Thanks very much, man. Quick, give us 3 things that you hate.
3 things I hate. Oh, yeah, easy, right? People, this is all really personal.
Easy people.
That have happened to me this week. Tongue ulcers, number 1.
Yeah, no, they're not good.
I've always forgotten. I take my tongue for granted. I had an ulcer on the weekend. They're really debilitating. Yeah.
You ever got ketchup on it? Just the worst pain you've ever had.
I had some prawn cocktail crisps. That was an error. People who reverse into your car and don't leave a note.
Aaron Wood.
That's a very personal thing at the moment. That happened to me 3 days ago.
I didn't leave a note. I knocked on because it was my neighbour. But big deal. What we say?
You just got to check if they got a Ring camera first.
Yeah, they did. They did.
You're like, oh, they've got one. I best go and say. Yeah, one of my neighbours has reversed into my car and ruined the front of it, and it's really annoying. It's going to cost.
It's only the Peugeot 108 though, as we discussed.
Peugeot 106, mate. Come on.
Sorry.
Mint green. They don't do that colour anymore, so it's going to be really expensive. And a third one. I don't know a third one. They're the only two things I hate. World hunger.
Oh, there we go.
You fucking southern fairy.